The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Tuesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends up in this top right-hand corner, right here. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. And one of the ways we do that, of course, is player profiles being featured on the show, along with Coaches Corners, shining a light on the great coaches and players that we have in the area. We are not changing the script today. We have a great player profile for you. It's going to be Preston Kerr, senior post player and leading scorer right now of the East Liverpool Potters, off and running to a fantastic start of their season. And a little bit of a season where there were a lot of question marks. I mean, this is a senior-led team, yes, but they also lost a lot of important seniors last year. So there were a lot of just questions, right, coming into this season about East Liverpool. Were they going to be as good as last year? Were they going to be able to replace some of these great seniors that led? Are the next seniors going to step up? Preston Kerr was not a question mark. I think everyone knew, okay, he's solidified. He's good. He's good to go. 19 points per game, I'd say that's a pretty solid start through 9. What a great start for Preston. What a great start for East Liverpool. So we have a talk with him later on in the show. Going to be a fun player profile to feature. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. We will also, of course, recap the night from last night, and we will talk about the night coming up tonight on boys basketball night, Tuesday. A lot of boys basketball tonight. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about last night, and we'll do the player profile from Preston Kerr. But as always, we will start with the recap from last night. We hop into the scoreboard, which is always brought to you and presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. The YSN scoreboard is a great tool for our fans, whether you're at one of the games or watching one of our broadcasts. Maybe you're doing both. Hopefully you're doing both, because that would be very smart of you to be at a game and then check in a YSN broadcast while you're at it. But either way, you don't want to look away from your screen or your game for too long, and the YSN scoreboard is a great quick way to find live updated scores from your favorite teams across the YSN family, whether it be your rival or your friends. The YSN scoreboard is live updated every night. We have a great team behind the scenes that tries to make sure these games are as live updated as possible. And that means you don't have to wait until midnight for final scores to come in. You can go right away and get them locked down. Let's see what the damage was from last night. Mostly girls basketball. We did have one boys game happen down there in Heartland Christian. We'll get to that. But first, a good one inside the NE8. Niles and Lakeview getting together. It is Niles with the win, 49-46. And as they edge the Bulldogs by 3 inside the Dragon's Nest. Probably the best game on the network, actually, last night. Lowville gets beat up by Columbiana. This one was late move to Columbiana, so Lowville expecting a home game. They don't get the home game. Columbiana comes in and gets the win. Lowville's defense actually played pretty dang well, especially on the leading scorers of Columbiana, Evie Rapp and Ella Venencia. They didn't get off to a great start, but no fear for Clipper Nation. Avery Marshall stepped up with 15 points, for her to kind of carry up the slack. That's what's good about this Colombiana team. It's not a one girl show. Um, they're not the kind of team that can only have one girl scoring. They can have multiple people, and then in times when they need someone that is not a leading scorer to step up and put her points in, Avery Marshall is one of those players that can. So is Megan Mosher, who had 8 points last night. Vinicia still had 8, and so she still was able to contribute, just not the numbers that we're usually seeing from the brand new Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley winner in week 2, by the way. Congratulations. Ellie is now up for Big Dog of the Year, which will be at the end of the season against all the other winners. Stay tuned for week 3 of Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley here soon. But Columbiana gets to win 40-24 over Louisville at home. Big win for the Clippers, and their defense was especially locked down against the Rockets. Crestview got a lot more than I think they bargained for in the Fieldhouse. They were able to beat Struthers 48-37, 11-point victory, but they led 31-30 at the end of 3. So this was getting really nervous after 3 quarters of play. Struthers is one of those teams, I'm telling you, they're not going to get a high seed in the tournament. Their record, they're just not going to get a good seed, but they are dangerous. They are playing inspired basketball right now. They have kind of rallied after the injury to Caitlin Kimball, and they are just playing really well. They have back-to-back game. Well, okay, they beat Cheney in between, but you look at Poland, conference leader, Crestview, conference leader. 2 out of 3 of their last games, and they pushed Poland to the brink, and they had a really close game going in the fourth quarter with Crestview. Crestview just kind of put into another gear in that fourth quarter, made a couple of really clutch plays, free throws down the stretch. Crestview found a way to win because that's the kind of team they are. But Struthers, I would not want to play them at all in the tournament if they keep playing like this. They are a dangerous team. They have proven in the last 2 games that they can find ways to make it interesting against big teams. If things go one way or the other, they could have beaten Poland, they could have beaten Crestview. So you look at this team and they're playing inspired basketball. They have rallied behind their team. They're not a deep bunch anymore. And maybe when they get a couple of girls back from concussion, give them a little depth, let them be a little bit more aggressive on defense, trying not to avoid foul trouble. Who knows? Maybe the Struthers team can be one that maybe gets put on upset alert, or I should say, causes another team to get on upset alert. I think this is kind of crazy. I know this probably isn't going to make anyone feel good, but this is the best 2-win team I think that I've seen since we started YSN back in 2017. Because I'm watching them play and I'm like, man, they're right there. They're finding ways to really compete against really good teams. And that's dangerous in the tournament. If they start putting things together, they make a couple of more plays. And if you go into a tournament as Struthers and you say, hey, we can beat Crestview. Like, that game was close enough to say that they could have won. They had chances to win. They could have made plays to win. They were not blown out of the water. They were not outclassed on the court. So if they go into the tournament thinking like that and having that kind of confidence, like, hey, if Crestview struggles with us, then who can't we beat in this district? And honestly, in this D3 district now with Laurel back up in Division 2, Crestview might be the big bat, right? The big monster in Division 3, our district, our local district. So if you can take care, not take care, but if you can compete with Crestview, you got to be thinking, if you're Struthers, who can't we compete with? And I know Struthers is Division 2, not the same division, but you got to be kind of confident going, we can really beat really good teams. Struthers, a dangerous 2-win team heading into the second half of the season bracket play. Honestly, not far away. We are 2 months, I believe, away from the start of the tournament, a little less than 2 months away from the tournament draw. So believe it or not, postseason is right around the corner for girls basketball. Boys basketball will be 1 week after. So don't think it's ever too early to start talking about what teams will look like in the tournament. I think Struthers, they have a chance to rack up a couple of more wins before then, get some confidence, and they could be a very dangerous low seed in this D2 tournament coming up pretty soon. Lisbon and Heartland Christian getting together. It is Heartland Christian getting the win inside the Purple Palace, 65-46. Final score there for the Lions. Big win for Heartland. Valley Christian girls, they made the home cooking from Medina Christian. They were able to fight pretty hard, but they did eventually lose 36-20 to Medina Christian. We have Ashley Beulah St. John. They went at home and to play Wyndham, and they lost 53-40. Bombers, a sneaky under the radar team. We've seen them put up big numbers multiple times this year. Don't sleep on Wyndham when we're talking about tournament play down there in Division 4. South Range bounces back from their tough loss against Girard on Saturday. They came in on Monday. They beat Liberty 46-27, the final score there. As this was a game where South Range had their seniors step up. Cindy Pennick had a good game. Maddie Dado had a good game. Devin Sarwine had a good game. When you have a tough loss, you're trying to rebound, you got to have your veterans step up. And in fact, Sarwine and Dado both combined for 28 points for the Raiders. Sarwine had 16. Dado had 12. I was really impressed with that senior leadership just to say, hey, we got to get ourselves back on track. We can't define our season by one loss to Girard. We have to continue to play the way we have in the last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, they've still won 4 of the last 5. They're still playing a lot better than they were in the start of the season. They've made drastic improvements, and they have to be able to internalize that and to say, hey, we're not going to let the fact that we, dropped an important one to Girard that, gave us an outside chance of the league. We can't let that define our season. We got to keep getting better, keep pushing, and keep trying to stride right before tournament time. Because now, kind of the Coach Fishel talked about this in the post-game interview, and I think he's absolutely right when he said this. The pressure is kind of off South Range now. I mean, they had an outside chance of the NEA championship going into Saturday, and that's a lot of stress to put on a team that probably coming into the season, no offense to South Range, but everyone was looking at Poland, and no one was looking at the Raiders this year to win a conference. The way they played last year, they just weren't that team coming into the year. They weren't a team that anyone expected to have a conversation into the conference. So coming into the Saturday, it's like, okay, you beat Girard. You have everything in front of you. All you have to do then is go in and beat Poland again, which you already did. The door was open for South Range, but that's exciting, and it is exciting. We got excited for the Raiders. We know that we were excited, and it was a big game against Girard. You love to see big games like that. But it's also a lot of pressure, right? Because it's like, oh, man, we got to win this game. We got to get the league. Now, all of a sudden, the pressure is a little bit off, and now the focus is just, hey, go out there, get better every day, make sure we are as good as possible heading into this tournament, and then try to make some noise. If they end up winning the NE8, which isn't they're not mathematically eliminated. They need some help. They're not mathematically eliminated from the NE8. If that happens to happen, then cool, awesome. But now the pressure, I think, of NE8 championship isn't on anymore because it's still a possibility, but it's they would need help. It's not controlling their own destiny anymore. So I think that, we saw a South Range team that was a little bit more, I don't want to say lax because that's always taken as a negative, in a negative direction, but a little bit more loose, a little bit more just, hey, take a breath, last night. And obviously Liberty is heading in the opposite direction. And there was a lot that South Range was just better at, but there were things execution I saw that was just like, okay, they're just playing a little bit more loose. Liberty is actually a tough place to go and shoot. And South Range did struggle shooting the ball in the half court. The half court offense, they weren't really getting, the shots to fall because it's a little bit of a deeper court than most. It comes off the wall. There's a bigger baseline. It's a little bit, the depth perception is not as big as, your Struthers, which is where they're playing next. But it's still just a little enough off a tick that you can go in there and have a poor shooting day. And we've seen plenty of teams do that in the last couple of years, especially when Liberty was really playing well 2 and 3 years ago. So South Range, good bounce back. Now we'll get to see what they can do against this Struthers team that we were talking about on Thursday in the Fieldhouse. It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a really good game because Struthers is coming in playing well, but needing that boost of a victory, right? They're not getting the results out of the playing well. They dropped a close one to Poland, dropped a close one to Crestview. They beat Cheney in the middle of that. So now this is a South Range team playing really well right now. I think it would be a big feather in the Wildcats' cap if they were able to get a win over South Range. Not too many of those in the 88. South Range is still a team that some of these teams haven't even beaten as members of the 88 yet. So Struthers would love to put a feather in their cap to wash away some of the past hurts that they've experienced at the hands of the Raiders and kind of get that big signature win of the season in the field house. Because South Range could end up finishing second in the conference still. So a win against them would definitely be a big step up for Struthers. We continue in the scoreboard. Cardinal Mooney gets a win over Youngstown East inside the Steel Valley Conference, 55-39, the final score in that one. Big day for Mooney. And then Beaver fell to Blackhawk, 42-14, final score there. On the boys basketball end, we saw Heartland Christian beat Valley Christian 59-38. That was actually game one of the doubleheader. Boys played first, girls played second. I like that. I like switching it up every now and then because, you just kind of influence the crowd to stay a little bit. Sometimes if you have the boys game second, the boys crowd will show up, in the halftime of the girls game or in between the games because they know, hey, boys play at 7. But sometimes when you get the crowd to already get there, they're just like, hey, you know what? We're already here. We might as well stay for a second game. Sometimes I can really get a crowd to stay if you have the girls game second, which is the whole point of these doubleheaders is to get the crowd there for both of the teams. Try to get this, the support for both programs. And it has definitely worked both ways. I've seen crowds show up early for boys games and obviously support the girls program. But I think sometimes if you flip it a little bit and get a little bit creative like that, then you can have crowds stay for the girls game too. And both the Lions teams got wins. So they really, they gave the crowd a good show. Lions getting the win. Lisbon and Valley Christian both falling to Heartland last night. So that does it for our scoreboard recap from the weekend. I know we didn't have a ton of games. It was kind of a slow day over the holiday. Martin Luther King Day was yesterday, so not everyone in action. This is a great time. I just looked at the comments, by the way. Great time to remind everybody that if you are watching on Facebook, stay away from comments like you see on the bottom of our post right there. These fake links are really popping up a lot lately in YSN's Facebook posts. It's just scammers trying to get you to follow a link and get your information. So do not follow the fake links that they're kind of the same thing every time. It's game day in all caps, and they'll be like they look legit, and I get why people fall for them. They have the logos, they have the names of the schools, and you think, well, what computers? Well, you know what can computers do nowadays, right? So don't follow the links that end up like that. We try to delete them as quick as we can, but sometimes they pop up like you delete one and 3 of them pop up on the next post. It's almost like if you delete them, they become angry and start posting them like crazy. So just if you see them on our YSN pages, don't follow the links. We try to delete them, like I said, as quick as we possibly can. There's no way to stop them from popping up because it's not just one account that we can block or anything like that. It's a different spam account every day. So just try not to fall for the links that you see on the YSN Facebook pages. And there's one on the comments here for an example. Not going to put it up on the show, but you can just see it right there. It looks a lot like that. It's game day. It's all in caps, and it'll look legit. It'll make you follow a link, and even the link, if you follow it, looks legit. Inside a video player, it'll buffer for a while, and then all of a sudden, you'll have a virus on your computer, or you'll lose all your credit card information because someone stuck through the back door of your computer. So especially if you're on a laptop or on a computer that's not a Mac, don't follow that link. Mac's kind of impervious to viruses, so little bit more safe there, but you still don't want to fall for that kind of malarkey. And some of them will trick you into saying, subscribe to watch. It'll buffer, and then they'll be like, you have to be a subscriber. And a lot of people fall for that too. You do not have to pay for anything on YSN. So if anyone asks you for a subscription and you think it's YSN, guaranteed it's not, because we do not have a subscription model as of yet. So we will never ask you for a subscription. If someone does, it ain't us, and you can just click away from that link real quick. Because another good thing to know, no one broadcasts high school sports the way we do, period. So if you see someone saying, hey, we're going to be at 12 games tonight, and it's one of these fake game day links, malarkey, right? Because there's no one that does that, at least not in the area. And we've done extensive research to say not in the country too. So don't fall for the links, don't fall for the fakeness, and we'll have a good day. But with that PSA, that little TED Talk there, we're going to take our first commercial break of the day. When we come back, we have a player profile to feature. Preston Kerr, senior and leading scorer for East Liverpool, was able to join me yesterday. Great conversation with him. And we're going to feature that interview when we get back from this commercial break on Running Point, brought to you as always by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. Alyssa, and I'm YN proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats, because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
And welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. And it is a Tuesday episode. We are always brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. It is time for our segment of the show where we feature a player profile from the area. We're going down to Potter Country today, East Liverpool, Ohio. And it is Preston Kerr, their post presence down there, does a lot of work in the paint, leading the Potters right now, averaging 19 points per game in the Potters' impressive start to the season. And a great conversation with one of their senior leaders. Can't wait to share it with you. So without further ado, here is Preston Kerr from East Liverpool. Anthony Hartwig with you with an East Liverpool Potters boys basketball player profile. I'm joined by senior Preston Kerr. Preston, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the season. Off to an incredible start for the Potters. You've only lost twice so far on the year. You're going through this season. Talk about the beginning of it, though. Talk about the summer months and preparing for this season. No one really knows how a year is going to go. What were some of the goals you set for yourselves in the preseason, and how do you think you're executing the goals that you set?
So we lost a good handful of seniors last year, and our summer league started off to a really good start. We were playing really good, high-intensity defense. We were just trying to figure out who was our main, I want to say target, but we found early that there's multiple dudes that can just score the ball. And the challenges I set for myself was just really focus on putting reps up, like multiple shots, just really working on defense because I'm a really gritty player. I'm sorry. So, yeah.
When you lose as many seniors as you did last year, there's always that uncertainty that comes out. Like, well, who's going to step up next? Who's going to be that next big leader? Who were some people that kind of taught you how to lead and made you comfortable with taking that next step of being a leader this year as a senior?
I would definitely say Cole Daly, Xavier Green, and Dev Toothman. They were definitely my leaders. They pushed me every single day when I was on JV, when I played some varsity, but I wasn't like the main dude. I was there for defense mostly, but they prepared me for what I am now. So
now you're there for offense. You're scoring in bunches. What's working so well for you on that side of the floor this year?
I think I'm just facilitating, and I feel like people are so focused on what I can do. So I'm getting my teammates more involved. But when my teammates are putting up like numbers also, it gives me the opportunity to just be more open too. So,
you know, when players like yourself that come up as a defensive specialist and have such good defense, find their offensive flow, sometimes you see those types of players kind of lose the defensive edge because they're scoring so much. Not with you. How have you stayed focused on defense and still made that the most important part of your game?
I don't know how to explain this. I think I just all summer I really worked on moving my feet. Like I have a high energy, so I'm not going to get tired quick. That's why I'm always going. So defense is definitely my main thing.
When you look at it, it's your senior year. It's time to get reflective a little bit. You know, it's the last go around with this Potters team. What's it feel like knowing that everything you do is kind of for the last time you're going to do it?
Well, everything happens for a purpose, I believe. So this is my last year, so I'm really going to make everything most of it. And we're just working. It just means everything to me.
Has the reality that you're a senior sunk in yet, or is it still not really hit you that it's your last year?
I want to say it hasn't hit me yet, but it's going to hit me soon.
You know, you play in one of the best basketball arenas in the area, and I think everyone in the Ysn family would agree with that. The Potter Fieldhouse, there's nothing like it, especially on a night when you get the support and it's hopping in there in the gym. What is it like playing in there, and what is it like calling the Potter Fieldhouse home?
So I say our field house is one of the best, if not the best. The love that all the parents and all the fans show to just our organization is just amazing. I like the high energy crowds. It gets me more going, to be honest. So it means a lot.
When you're talking about just the East Liverpool in general, what makes it feel like home to you? What are some things that make East Liverpool the place where you call home?
I call it home because there's a lot of younger dudes that look up to me. So I gotta lead to example. I'm sorry, let me word this right. I am an example for a lot of the younger kids. So it just means a lot to me for them to look up to me. So I'm always gonna work hard no matter what.
You bring up a good point. You know, you talked earlier in this interview about the leaders that you watched when you were, growing up in JV, and you were, a little bit of varsity, and you looked toward those leaders to teach you how to do it. Now you're the role model. You're the people are looking to. What's that been like for you, flipping that table and, going from someone that's looking at other people as role models, and now all of a sudden it's you that is the role model?
It's definitely different. So every move you do, every move, it affects me too. So I gotta I always better be ready.
What's it like for you to see the youth of the program, the little kids that are looking at all the varsity players and wanting to be in your shoes, coming to the games and getting excited about Potter basketball? What's that like for you as a player?
It makes me feel awesome. We have a lot of little kids, well, young Potters, I should say. And they all look up to everybody, even if it's a freshman, even if it's a senior starting, even if it's a JV player, they just want to be that next person, if you know what I mean.
You've had the chance to be coached by a lot of great people. You're a multiple sport athlete, so you have a lot of good coaches in your life.
Yes, sir.
Talk about your basketball coaches and what they've meant to you and what they've taught you about yourself and basketball.
Well, I've known Coach Conley, Coach Miller, Coach Cade. I've known them all my life, and I would say Conley and Miller pushed me the most to be the best player I can be. But Coach Reynolds, he shows me a lot of different skill moves I can work on, different finishes. Miller tells me how to be a better post player, and Coach Conley's always he's always on my case about everything. But he's an amazing coach.
Being a multiple sport athlete, your time is very limited. You have to juggle a lot of things: school, sports, social life. What are some of your techniques to organize your time and have good time management?
So when I really don't have practice, I'm usually at the Y, either just putting up shots, working on ball handling. I play a little video games once in a while, but there's always a lot of schoolwork. I'm in an AP literature class. I'm in a couple harder classes, I should say, and I have some of my friends that help me a little bit, but it's definitely challenging to make time for everything, for sure.
You're putting the work in these AP classes, which means when you get those grades, which we know you get good grades, you earn them. You're not taking the easy way out. You're not taking the easy classes. So when you do get those grades, what's that feel like? What kind of sense of pride does that give you?
Oh, it definitely gives me a little boost. It makes me feel good about myself. So I'm an A and B student, so I got to keep the grades good. And when it starts going down a little bit, if it does, it hurts my heart a little bit, but I'm always locked in.
What has been the class that has been the most rewarding, I guess I should say, took the most work and was the most rewarding to get a good grade in?
I would say my AP literature. It's definitely challenged me the most out of all my classes throughout high school. We do a lot of poetry. We do a lot of big essays, and it's definitely challenging, I would say.
As we're talking about your schoolwork, I know there's a lot of great teachers in that East Liverpool school as well. Who are some teachers that have impacted you in your journey?
Oh, man. I don't know where to start. I would say Mr. Cornfield has been a really big impact. He challenged me. It's my math teacher. He's just an amazing dude, down to earth. I would say Coach Miller, he was one of my teachers as well. Coach Conley was one of my teachers as well when I was younger. They prepare me for what's coming next and what I still have to do. So
Speaking of Coach Conley, we get to see him on the sidelines. We get to see him,
Yeah.
coaching during the game, but we don't get to see him any other time. You spend a lot of time with that man. What's something about him that a lot of people don't know that you think people should know about Coach Conley?
I'll just say his humor. His humor is amazing. He just always has good jokes. Our teammates kind of get on him a little bit for just the stuff he says, but he's just an amazing dude.
We love to see coach impressions, and I'm sure every teammate has their own. Which one of your teammates do you think can do the best impression of Coach Conley?
Oh, has to be Quentin Conrad. Has to be.
When you think of your teammates, we're going to ask you a couple of questions about them. And first one is, who has the best style, like the best swag on the team?
Ooh, that's different. I would say Q. I would say Quentin Conrad, or maybe I might switch it up to Deshaun Kirby. He can put a little something on once in a while.
What about like the best music taste, the one that has the killer playlist on in shoot around, or the one that's always bopping to the good music that you listen to too?
It's either me or Marquise. We always got the tunes going. So
who's the teammate comedian? Who's the one that can crack a joke no matter what the situation is and get you guys back to being loose?
I would say either Blake or Gavin. They're always saying stuff that it's pretty funny.
Opposite, who's the teammate that takes things like the most seriously? Hard to get them to crack a joke, hard to get them to get outside of the sport of basketball.
I would say my twin, Preston Dawson. I would say definitely that.
I love it. When you think of your future, we don't want to see you go, but you're gonna graduate from East Liverpool. That's the reality. What are some of your future goals? What's going to be happening in Preston's life after East Liverpool?
So I definitely want to go to college. I have some NAIAs and some D3 small colleges, but I definitely want to pursue basketball, and I want to go into a business degree, maybe sports management. I'm not sure yet on that, but I definitely want to play some basketball and get a good education. So
when you're looking at the programs that you're looking at to go play at the next level, and you're looking at the coaches, what kind of things are you looking for? What kind of things can a program and a coach have that make you comfortable with calling it your home at the next level?
I would just say, like, when I do visits or stuff, I just let it come to me. Like, I don't force anything, if that makes sense. Like, I want it to be home, if you know what I mean.
What would be the perfect way to end your senior season for East Liverpool? What are some team goals that you think that if you reach these team goals, you would leave the program and you would know that you accomplished everything that you wanted to in East Liverpool?
I would definitely say a regional title. That's what we're all chasing, but anything after that would be just a blessing in disguise. It would be amazing.
When you graduate from East Liverpool, you look back on your whole sports career, multiple sport athlete. What's going to be your proudest achievement as an athlete at East Liverpool?
Well, I'm hoping this year. I hope this year will be the best year that Potter's had in a very, very long time, or just in my career.
What are you going to miss the most about this East Liverpool community after you leave it and you go on to the next chapter?
Definitely the love that we just all get. Like, I feel the love is just insanely high, and I don't know if I'll ever feel the type of love I get. So
we talked about your role models on the floor and some of the teammates that you looked up to in the past. I would be remiss if I didn't also ask you about your role models outside of basketball and the people that you look to in your life that give you advice or whatever it may be. Who are your role models outside of the sport?
Well, I would definitely say my mom, my dad, my stepmom, my grandparents. But one person I really look up to is my brother. His name's Jaden, and he just taught me a lot of things in life that I don't know how to thank him enough. Right. It really is a blessing.
What do you think is like that biggest lesson that Jaden has taught you, or the biggest moment where you really learned a lot from him?
I would just say, don't rush everything. Everything happens for a reason. That's one of his sayings.
All right, Preston, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance, like we do with every player profile, to shine a light on everybody in your life, the people that support you, the people that you wouldn't be here without. I'm going to give you as much time as you want to give your shout-outs and to shine a light on those people.
I just want to shout out to my dad, most informally. He's just one of the greatest people that I just know. And I want to thank my moms also. So that's it.
Preston, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of this senior season, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Preston Kerr from East Liverpool. And, just a few more things to drive home the point, how important Preston is to this team. 18.8 points per game. I was rounding up when I said 19, but if we're going to be exact, 18.8 points per game so far. East Liverpool 10-2 on the year, but he also leads the team in every other category. So rebounds per game, Preston averages 7.2. That is by far the team lead. The next closest to him in that category is 3.4. So he almost has a 4 rebound lead on average for rebounds per game as a team lead. So he does that. He also leads the team in steals per game. He has 2.3 steals per game. The closest to him in that aspect is 1.5. So almost a full steal per game lead as far as the team numbers go. Preston also leads the Potters in assists per game. He averages 3.1 assists per game, and the closest to him there is 2.8. So a little bit of a closer race with assists per game. But nonetheless, he has the team lead in points, rebounds, assists, steals. What more can you do for the team than that? I mean, lead them in every statistical category, but then have the attitude that Preston does. You wouldn't know it by that interview because he shined more of a light on his teammates than he ever did himself. But you wouldn't know from the interview that this kid has, the team lead in points, rebounds, steals, and assists. That's just he's MVP, right? He's MVP of Potterville. That's no other way to put it. This dude, very under the radar. No one's talking about him in the media. I don't see anyone else around the sports media world in Northeast Ohio talking about how important Preston Kerr is to East Liverpool. Very rarely do you see someone lead their team in all those categories. Usually, if you lead them in 1 or 2, maybe you see a rebound in points, but rebound, points, steals, and assists, leading the team in all of them, very uncommon. Very uncommon. Preston is doing a fantastic job. East Liverpool is in Salem tonight for boys basketball, and that one starting, I believe, at 6:45 is the scheduled start time, which is a great segue into the preview section of our show. We are going to hop back into the scoreboard brought to you by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. We're going to go from yesterday, I guess you could say, back to the future, I coughed because that joke was so bad. We'll go into Tuesday and see what we have in store. A lot of games, as you can see, on tap tonight. January 16th, back to a full slate of action. Starting the 88, Niles at Lakeview, just like their girls' matchups yesterday. This time it's in Lakeview instead of in Niles, but same deal. Lakeview trying to bounce back from a tough loss in the 88 last time out to, I have the hiccups a little bit, to Hubbard last time they were out in the league. So Lakeview trying to bounce back. They'll try to do so at home in Cortland against the Dragons. Ashley Beulah St. John travels to Badger tonight. We have Hoban hosting Canton McKinley. Champion goes to Newton Falls in the MVAC Gray Tier. Non-conference matchup between Columbiana and West Branch. Clippers going up 2 divisions to go to Beloit. That's a big matchup for the Clippers and a big opportunity to really make a statement. If they were able to go and beat a really good Division II team, that's watch out everybody in their district. I'll tell you that much. As we said, East Liverpool traveling to Salem tonight. Edgewood goes to Conneaut. Jefferson hosting Geneva. We have Howland going to Boardman in the AAC play. Howland, a team that was right there against Fitch, trailed for most of the game, made a furious comeback, then fell short. So they're trying to get their second win of the AAC season against Boardman. Middle Ridge hosting Jackson Milton tonight. Poland goes to Hubbard. Hubbard trying to make it 2 big wins against Big Bulldogs in the 88. Now Poland is sitting alone at the top of the conference. Much help to to Hubbard, by the way. South Range trying to keep pace as they travel to Girard tonight. They have 2 losses in the league, so they can't afford another one. They'll try to win on the road in Girard against the Indians. Warren Harding travels to Canfield to continue AAC play for both teams. Canfield coming off a tough loss to Green over the weekend on Sunday. Western Reserve, they are on the road going to Lowville as that continues MVAC Scarlet Tier play. Camel going to Liberty tonight as they try to bounce back from their tough loss against LeBray. East Palestine hosting the Urban Scholars, Academy of Urban Scholars. And tonight, that's a big opportunity for the Bulldogs to get a win to put momentum into the rest of their season. We have United traveling to Latonia tonight to take on the Bears. That's an EOAC matchup. And when you look at it, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe it's the only EOAC matchup of the day. Every other EOAC team is playing a non-league game that is in action, with East Palestine going and playing Urban Scholars, United and Latonia playing each other, Wellsville is playing Toronto. Yeah, so the only EOAC game on slate tonight, United at Latonia. Harrison Central makes the trip to the Beaver Dome and Beaver Local. Crestview goes to LeBray, trying to upset the current conference leaders. LeBray sitting alone at the top now, thanks to a win over Camel on Friday. Lordstown will travel to Pymatuning Valley tonight as the Lakers try to make a big win, another big win. They won by 30 plus their last time out over Matthews. Springfield making the trip to McDonald tonight, MVAC Scarlet Tier play continuing there. Waterloo goes to Sebring. We have Garfield going to Brookfield. Youngstown East making the trip to Cheney. That should be actually a really good one in the Steel Valley Conference. We've talked at length about East's resurgence this year as a program, much to do with Isaiah McCray, who's having a very good season for the Bears. Another kid under the radar that should be talked about a lot more when talking about some of the best players in the area. We go from East and Youngstown down to Toronto as Wellsville makes the trip to try to beat the Red Knights tonight. And then last but not least, Lakeside, the Dragons, traveling to Perry tonight to try to get a win in the CVC. Let's go over the announcers tonight, who will be where and where you can watch the games that you want to watch. We'll go into the spreadsheet, and we can tell you that there are some games that were originally scheduled today that have been canceled or postponed. We'll go over those first. The game between JFK and Bristol that was originally scheduled for today is not happening. And the game that was originally scheduled today between Ramir Road Baptist Christian and Sebring, that one's not happening either today. Obviously, Sebring has to make up a league game. They will play Waterloo tonight. So they are, and Sebring is in action, but they had to bump the non-conference game they originally had scheduled. So if you're a Sebring fan out there looking at their original schedule, they were supposed to be home. They're still home. They're just not playing Revere Road Christian anymore. They're playing a league game in Waterloo. And then those are the games that are canceled. So let's go over the games that are on the network tonight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 games being broadcasted on the network tonight. Send at the top. Just try to find someone else that's doing that. 17 games live broadcasted with announcers there. You're just not going to find it anywhere else other than YSN. Let's start with Niles and Lakeview. We'll have that one on the network. Sam Ballas and Jake Nicholas doing their show with Lakeview like they have been all year. They have been putting good work, and they are on the call tonight in Cortland. Bill Shea will be in Kinsman for Badgers matchup with the Heralds of Ashtabula St. John. Ty Bartell going to hold down the castle as Archbishop Hoban takes on Canton McKinley. Ty will be there on the call. Noah Ricks going to be at Newton Falls as Champion comes to town. Marky Nolan trying to continue his impressive season and lead Champion to another victory. This would be one of the biggest ones they have of the season if they're able to pull it off. Michael Janaki going to be in West Branch tonight as the Warriors host the Clippers of Columbiana. Already talked about it. Big game for Columbiana. Big chance to make a statement to not just themselves, but everybody in their district. Like if you go beat a top team, a division up on you, then you're doing something right. So we'll see what they can do. Michael Janaki will be on the call there. Derek Rhodes is going to be in Salem tonight as East Liverpool comes to town. We have the WOW TV crew with the Cognac game as Edgewood comes to town. Sam Torres and the 440 crew is going to be 440 crew. What am I doing? Going to be at Jefferson as Geneva comes to town to try to take on the Falcons. Donnie Riccatelli in the Spartan home for Boardman and Howland in the AAC, so a big one there inside the conference. Steve Hodge going to be in Middle Ridge as Jax Milton tries to come and spoil the party for the Rams. Sax Fenson going to be in Hubbard as the Eagles try to make it 2 wins against 2 conference-leading Bulldogs in a row. Poland trying to stay alone in first place in the NE8. I will be down in Girard as South Range tries to keep pace in the conference and keep their hopes at a conference championship alive. Tim Corso going to be on the call at Canfield as Warren Harding comes to town. Eric Hughes will be in Mobile. Western Reserve going there for a big one in the MVAC Scarlet tier. Matt Marr and Jordan Barber going to be in Liberty as Campbell goes to town. Tim and Dan Figley going to be in the action as East Palestine hosts the Academy of Urban Scholars. Last but not least, Larry Scragg going to be on the call as United goes to Latonia tonight as well. So those are your announcer crews. Those are your games that are going to be live on the network. You can find those games live on ysnlive.com/live. Simply find the game that you are looking for and then click on it. You have to scroll past the advertisements a little bit. There's like a window of ads. Scroll past that. You'll find the video box. Hit play, and you're good to go for your game. And it's completely free. Anyone that tells you that we charge our fans at YSN, not true. The only time we put up a pay-per-view wall is the tournament, and that is only because the OHSA hits us with their own fees to broadcast tournament games. So regular season right now, for YSN, completely free. So go in there, ysnlive.com/live, pick the game of your choosing, and hit play. It's that simple. 17 games tonight to choose from. You have a bunch of great announcers out there putting in their work. If you're out at one of our games and you see one of our announcers, don't be afraid to stop and thank them for what they're doing, because honestly, without them taking their night away and putting on the microphone, we couldn't do it, right? We could boaster and bluster all we want, but if we don't have the people there in the gym, then it really doesn't matter. So make sure you thank your announcers tonight if you're at one of the games that are being broadcasted. And we'd love to shake your hand and be a part of your community, of course, and meet you if we haven't already. I love meeting new people and the new gyms I go to or the new communities I cover. So don't be afraid to come say hi to me, introduce yourself. And also all of our announcers love the appreciation and the time that is taken to just say thank you. It's a big boost to us. So with that being said, make sure to check out one of the 17 games tonight. ysnlive.com/live is where you can find them. I want to thank Preston Kerr for his time doing an interview today. If you missed that interview in its entirety, it is already up on our YouTube page and our website. So make sure to check that out. Check it out on YouTube. You can find it in its entirety there. And you can check out an article about Preston linked with the video on our website. ysnlive.com is where you can find that. So make sure to check that out. I want to thank again Preston for his time. And then I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. It is Wrestling Wednesday with Gary Altizer. We have a guest this week, Marky Stankorb from Austintown Fitch. Will be joining me and Scotty and Gary tomorrow on Wrestling Wednesdays on Running Point. 1 to 2 as always. We will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in.